Here is 7 different ways you can film yourself at home and look cinematic. This video will include behind the scenes video for lighting setups and overall cinematography as it applies to making yourself look cinematic at your own home. Here's how I created a cinematic looking image right inside our own kitchen. Here's everything with no lights adjusted. The first thing I'm concerning myself with is just creating depth in the background and creating leading lines. To do this, I'm going to open up our laundry room door. This also reveals a light coming in, and this will kind of act as our backlight. We're going to go in the kitchen and we're going to turn off the kitchen light, and then we're going to turn off the light above the sink. I'm going to take this Aputure 300D Mark II, and this is going to be our main key light and also our eye light. This is how I created a cinematic image right inside our kitchen. Here's how I created this very cinematic looking shot inside my car in my driveway. This is a light we're working with. The sun is not all the way set. It's not in the greatest position. Once I have that set up, I'm really just using the sunlight to light myself, but what I'm finding is that I need just a little bit more exposure so that I don't just disappear into darkness. So I'm taking this 5-in-1 reflector on the silver side, and what this will do is it'll bounce back a sliver of sunlight into my face and into my eyes, giving me that catch light so I can kind of pop more from the background. And that is how I created this cinematic shot right in front of my house in my driveway. Here's how to make this cinematic shot right outside your home. This is our side yard. As you can see, there's just one source of light, which is the light coming through the door and the little lamp above our door. Everything else is just falling into darkness. We're going to set up an Aputure 300D Mark II with a dome softbox. This is just going to raise the overall ambience, and so our shadows won't be just pitch black. The next thing we want to do is change our ISO from 400 to 100. That's going to give us more details in the shadows. Notice how the dome light gives my eyes a little bit of a catch light, and the dome light overall just gives it a natural look like this light's actually coming from the lamp by the door. Here's how I created this cinematic image right inside our own home. This is without any lights. So the first thing I'm going to do is go over to the curtains and open those up. That's going to be our key source of light, the sun coming in. And as you look at the window, you can see the sun is still pretty high in the sky. So I'm going to bring in this 5-in-1 reflector, and that's going to try to bounce back some of the sunlight on the shadow side of my face. To make for sure I'm not casting shadows on my face, I'm going to actually raise the window. It's pretty hot outside, so got to make this one quick. Here's how I created a Filmic candlelit scene. First, here's our area with no lights adjusted. The first thing we're going to do is turn the kitchen light off. We need to have a reason for having this candlelit in our shot. So we light a candle and move it onto the table. This light isn't going to be strong enough to light the whole scene, so I use a Aputure MC on the fire setting. This amplifies the fire look. Change our white balance from 5600 down to 32. This takes any light in the background and makes it more of a blue color. And that's how we get our Filmic candlelit scene. Here's our living room before any lighting is done. It's dark. Here's after. But where's the light coming from? To actually see the lights, we got to go outside. Here we have 2 Aputure 300D Mark IIs. One's higher up pointed down. This mimics the sun. And then we have one on the right, and this is going to be to just filling out the living room. What makes this lighting setup so effective is that all the light is actually just coming through the window. So the audience buys that as realistic lighting. And plus, you don't have to worry about navigating around lights. You can use the whole living room to use for whatever filming you need. Here's how you can create cinematic video right in your front yard. As you can see, we live in the middle of the United States. No mountains, no jungles, no oceans, deserts, or anything like that. So we need to do a few things to create a cinematic look, and one of those is creating depth. And we also need to find where the light is. we're gonna look underneath this tree. As you can see, there's shadow there. That's gonna help us get a nice even exposure. The leaves will act as foreground and background elements, giving it quite a bit of depth to the shot. And then in the second shot, we're able to get some cool lighting patterns from the sun coming through the trees onto my notebook. And that's how you can create some cinematic images right in your own front yard.